Hey guys, assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. Today I cooked a fish curry requested by one of my subscribers. He requested me to make a fish curry and especially mirgal. We call it mirga, by the way, so here it is. I've cooked it with Bangladeshi veg, which is called uri. I don't know what it's called in English, but there we go. And stay tuned and watch how I made this. Right, so here I've got two big fillets of mirka or mirgal mas, whatever you call it. We call it mirka in Bengali, and we're gonna descale that. It's got scales on it, so we're gonna descale that and we're gonna cut it into curry size pieces. I've already had them cut. I've got a big large one, had it cut from the shop, and now I'm gonna cut them into curry size pieces. So first what I'm going to do is descale it. It's so easy because they've got large scales. We're going to descale them like so. Did I say fillets before? I meant fish steaks. So after we descale them, we're going to cut them into sizes, small pieces like that. I'm going to keep that full. This is my favorite bit of the fish actually. It's got less bones in, and I like the skin from here. And this is the size we want, and this we're going to keep the size as it is, and we've got a bit of the tail as well, so we're going to keep that as it is as well. Or shall I cut it in half? I'll cut that in half. It's quite big. You can keep it big if you like. Well, I've cut it into smaller pieces. And now we're going to wash that with cold water, or about 100 times, so all the the scaly fish smell to go. I'm going to wash it like that several times until the smell is completely gone. It doesn't take much with big fishes because they don't smell that much to begin with. Now we've got a medium sized onion, and we're going to finely slice it up. All curries, fish curries, are basically, you use the same powder, same everything, they cook the same way. Some you fry it first, you fry the fish first and then add it onto the gravy, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to fry the fish up and then add it onto the curry. Some fishes, they taste better after they're fried up, and some you don't fry at all. You can cook this like the normal curry without frying. Still tastes good, still tastes really good, but it adds that extra bit of flavour on if you fry this one. Now in a big pan or a wok, we're going to add in about 2 tablespoons of veg oil and roughly about 2 tablespoons of mustard oil as well. Let that heat up, and to that we're going to add about a teaspoon or a bit more of haldi powder and a teaspoon of chilli powder. Give it a good mix. And on a very low heat, one by one, we're going to add in the fish, which we've actually dried off. And we're going to let that fry about 6-7 minutes on each side. In the meantime, we're going to start with the gravy. So again, we're going to heat up a pan, add about 2 tablespoons of veg oil, and this time about a tablespoon of mustard oil. After that's heated up, we're going to add in a tablespoon of garlic and ginger paste. And guys, quickly add in the onions. Oh my god, it's splattered. I would usually put it in before the paste before the oil gets hot. So give it a good mix. And now you're going to add in your salt according to your taste. And now we're going to add in about a cupful of water and leave it covered up for about 10 minutes. Checking up on it time to time so it doesn't stick at the bottom. Guys, when you're frying this, always have it moved around time to time so it doesn't stick at the bottom. So guys, once you're softening the onions up, you can add in 2 bay leaves. You could have added that with the paste, but I forgot. And to the onions, I'm gonna add in one red naga. It's gonna give the fragrance and it's gonna get it nice and spicy. So roughly chop it up and then add it to the onions. Now cover it back up again and let all the juice disappear, basically. What do you call it now? All the juice absorbed, the water absorbed, so it's the onion softened up basically. Oh my god, I'm rambling on today, aren't I? It's been about 7-8 minutes now. I'm gonna turn over the fish carefully, that way you don't break it. Kind of difficult recording at the same time, so you get my drift. And you fry that for a further 6 to 7 minutes, and always shake it like that so it doesn't stick at the bottom. Don't use a spoon or a knife or whatever it is. Don't use a spatula. Smell coming out of the naga already is wow. So whilst we're waiting for the onions to get cooked, we're gonna slice up a few chilies. You can skip that bit if you're putting naga in, or if you use naga, if you don't use naga, then yeah, by all means add as much or as little as you like. And we're going to slit them in half. Push them to our side, and now we're going to cut up the veg. So this is Bangladeshi uri. So the person that requested me to cook the mirgal fish, we call it mirka by the way, they also wanted me to use Bangladeshi veg. So this is a Bangladeshi uri, I don't know what you call it in English. So you slit both sides like so, clean it up like so. And after we've cleaned it up, we're going to cut it in half like so, into that size. So we're using about a kilo of fish, and there's about 500 to 600 grams of uri we're using. So this curry could serve up to about 6-7 people, depending how large the portions are. Now we're going to wash these. Guys, I've just measured, it's not 500 grams of uri, it's going to be about roughly 300 grams. As you can see, the onions have softened up, so I'm going to let it cook for a further couple of minutes. Our fish is done, so we're going to turn the flame off and let it rest for a bit. So guys, as you can see, all the water has absorbed. We're going to add in 1 tablespoon of chili powder. You can add less if you can't handle the spice. A tablespoon of haldi powder and a tablespoon of dhania powder. Mix it all in. And to that we're going to add in our chilli. Now carry on mixing, and if necessary, which is, add little bits of water at a time so it doesn't stick at the bottom and the spices don't burn. So tiny bits of water when needed. And we're going to carry on doing that and mixing until the oil rises at the top. That's when you know the spices have been cooked properly. And for about, say, 5 minutes or so. And guys, I forgot to mention, you're going to mix that in medium flame. So add a bit more water. And we're going to let it simmer for 2 minutes covered up. So it's been about 2 minutes now, and you can see the oil has risen to the top. Now we're going to bang in 1 plum tomato. I'm just going to squash and put in tin tomato. Give it a mix. And we're going to bang in our curry. Mix it in and let it cook for about 5 minutes or so. Cover up for another 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes you're going to add in a slight amount of water again. And we're going to let it cook covered for a further 5 minutes. sorry guys, it's that naga. I'm going to cover it up and let it cook for a further 5 minutes. Almost done. So now it's been about 5 minutes, guys. We're going to add in carefully our fish. Really carefully, you don't want it to break. And what we're going to do with the remaining of the oil that was fried in the fish, I'm going to add it onto the curry. That's going to add extra flavour to it. And at this point we're not going to mix it with the spoon at all whatsoever. We're going to just shake it around like so. And on low heat, turn the heat to low. We're going to cover it up and let it cook for 5 minutes as it is. And whilst they're simmering away, we're going to chop our fresh coriander. I'm using a whole load of it, a handful. We love coriander in our curries. You don't have to use as much, or you don't have to use any at all, but I highly recommend you use it. It makes the curry look so good, and obviously it adds that flavour. Without the coriander at the end, it's like it's an unfinished curry. So that actually completes the curry. So guys, it's been about 7 to 8 minutes now. Right now we're gonna add in, I'm adding about 1.5 cups of water. You can add less or more, depends how runny you want it. And with the spatula slightly, so making sure that it doesn't stick at the bottom. Now we're going to cover it up and let it come to the bubble, and after it comes to the bubble we're going to set it on very low heat for about 30 minutes and then we're done. So it's come to the bubble, guys. We're going to transfer it to the lower heat and let it cook for 30 minutes and then you can turn the flame off. We're going to add a bit of the coriander now and then the remaining after we turn the flame off. So it's been about 30 minutes, I've turned the flame off and now I'm going to garnish it with coriander again. And here we go, our curry is done. And here we go, guys, our mirgal curry with uri. Hope you enjoyed watching that, and if you did, hit the like button, share, subscribe, and until next time, bye.